thought it was a national ad.
That's right. Top 5 things I want to hear about the playoff. The committee is meeting again and blah, 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 blah. This has been a big, I'm trying to think of a non-crass term. I can't, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Circle J, the whole time. Number 5, that I want to hear that it's happening in 2024. If you throw out that we're going to vote for it and that it could happen in 2024, then let's do it in 2024. Let's end our little complaining time about the 14 playoff and let's do it in 2024. Get it worked out. I understand there's a ton of details to get worked out, but don't say that like, hey, we have enough support for this. It could happen in 2 years. Don't even say it if that's not going to happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of politicking and reasons why this is circling back around. I do not understand for the life of me why they chose right when the season's finally beginning to throw this back out there. I mean, maybe because there's more attention on the sport again. I don't know, but like I don't give a damn about the playoff compared to the games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, I'll start paying attention when they actually meet and something happens. And what tomorrow's the meeting, right? Where potentially something could happen, I believe. So tomorrow, we'll talk about that, Grayson and I, to whatever extent there is news. But I am not going to live or die by the touch and go meetings and pulse of the playoff expansion like we did the last couple of years. I don't care enough about the parties involved. I care about the end result, but we wasted a lot of time and a lot of people did on their BS, politicking and only for, this alliance to just crater it. And then we saw that result. So yeah, consider me leery of all the talk.
Consider me until it's done. Yeah. I don't want to know, but I know that's
number 4. It's 12 teams, not 8, not 16. Let's go to 12. I think that to me that ensures that you're going to get enough teams from the non-Power 2 conferences in this thing to make it worth our while.
That's
being
a lot of teams. I don't know. Like I don't have I don't know if I like 8 or 12. I haven't really decided that. I just hope they get to one of the two. Boy, that's a lot of teams.
I don't like. I think 4 is too little. I do think there is room. I'd be fine with 6. 8 is really as high as I want to go, honestly, because I am so tired of the word elite being abused and overused. I want to see elite teams vying for the playoff. If you're not elite, I don't think there should be a spot for you in the playoff. Now, if you get, you have a great season and you appear to be, and then you get exposed by Ohio State in the semifinals, okay, that's going to happen. Like, there's still going to be blowouts. There's no way to curve any of that. But, yeah, I don't want, any Mike Leach, if you have a pulse, you make the playoff. I think that sucks. I don't want to see it too watered down. So I'm fine with 8 max, but I understand the call for 12.
And most of my thing about 12 is because we know what the SEC and Big Ten are going to try to do. And if it's less than 12, then I feel like the point of this will be
if it's less than 12, if it's 8 or it squeezes. It's going to squeeze people.
Yeah.
The lesser the number, but I don't want to just.
And the PR machine that is the SEC and Big Ten will kind of overtake, and that's what I think 12, at least you can push back on that a little bit. That's why. I kind of agree with you, Craig, in that I don't want a whole bunch of teams, but I feel if we limit it to 8, then 6 of them might wind up being from those 2 leagues eventually, and that's not what I want.
Yeah, but, right now there's 4 of them, and 2 of those, half the field goes to one conference.
Yeah,
is that really all that different? I understand that, the number 13 team doesn't, but I saw somebody making the argument 4-4, and I get that, and I saw, what was it? I'm trying to remember it was making a case for 4. I understand the case for 4, but I do think there are years when 5 and 6 are, they just didn't start in a good spot, and by the end of the year, they deserve a chance to play for it. Not number 10 or 12, but number 5 or 6, hell yeah, man. And you can't tell me that they don't have no shot, or any shot whatsoever. I think that's kind of BS too, but I'm somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Number 3, no automatic qualifiers. I think that to get the 12 best teams in there, you don't need to do this, and so that was one of the hang-ups of the Big Ten. Of course, it wasn't really. It was just the thing they threw out there because it's one of those things like, what if our team wins the league and we're not in the top 12? How is that ever going to happen? Please do the math in the scenario where the team that wins the Big Ten is 7-5.
Yeah, I mean, this was something that initially I was just like, no, you should have a conference champion be able to but I backed off of that and for different reasons. But yeah, I'm all for eliminating the AQ. I get why there's the argument for it, but I do think you do get into the territory where now you're like forcibly watering it down, whether intentional or not. Whereas if you strip that away, you're going to end up with the best teams. And that's the freaking point at the end of the day is to have the best teams that deserve it to be playing for the playoffs. So I'm with that.
If we're having games that are blowouts now with 4, what's it going to be with 12?
I mean, who cares? I mean, it'll just be better, yeah.
But I do want people to be able to start practice in August with hope that they have a chance to get in the play
and you don't know what it's going to do for and not right away. It won't be right away, but for recruiting down the line, it would be better that if you know that you have a better shot of playing in the playoffs as opposed to, well, if I'm a 5-star, I want to be in the playoff, I want to be in the NFL. There's 7 schools I can go to.
Am I then in the minority that I want conference champions to get in?
Well, I think the top 6 conference champions are going to get in. The top 6 ranked conference champions are going to get in.
No, it's not.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
I don't think the American champs automatically in there.
That's what the plan was that they put out, was the top 6.
I thought it was the top 6 highest ranked.
The top 6 highest ranked conference champions will get in.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be that way.
Maybe it won't, but
that's kind of what even Sankey, hasn't even Sankey been arguing against that?
What do you mean it won't be that way? That's their idea, or it's not going to happen.
I don't. For some reason, I think that being a conference champion is not going to be like the top 6 ranked. They're not going to get in.
You think they're going to renege on that part?
I think they're going to end up trying to make sure that conference champions are not all. Isn't that what they've been discussing? That they don't want automatic qualifiers?
The point, yeah.
But there also aren't automatic. But they're not automatic. If they're a conference champion, but they're not the top 6 ranked, then they're automatically
in the country. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So there's a scenario where you could be a Power 5 team and be the 7th ranked conference champion, and you're not automatically in.
Let's say 2-loss Oklahoma State upsets undefeated Oklahoma, and they're number 7 in the polls. They wouldn't get in.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I just don't like that.
I mean, they still have a chance because they'd be an at-large, but they wouldn't be guaranteed to it. And that also keeps the fact from you have not even that. Say you have 7 and 5, in these things, the second best team.
If you're 7 and 5, you win a conference champion. Why do you play the damn game?
But then you not they're also not knocking out the undefeated.
Then don't lose.
Yeah, but we're supposed to be avoiding.
You're going to get in because there's going to be more than 5. There's going to be 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 teams. If you're 11, 12 and 0 and losing a conference championship game, you're not going to get knocked out of the playoff. Make the conference champion mean something. Win a conference championship and still be left out?
It does. If you're one of the top 6 highest.
No, why do you have to be a part of the top 6? I know I'm the complete minority here. Win a conference championship, you should get in the championship.
They're trying to avoid having a team get knocked out that's good.
If there's 8 to 12 teams in the playoff, they're not going to get knocked out, Paul, if they're 12 and 0.
Yeah,
11 and 1.
I'm not explaining this the right way, but yeah, there's going to be the 6 top ranked, the good conference champions are going to get in.
Yeah, here's the deal.
There's still 6 at-large teams.
I don't know. I'm confused as to where we are here.
No, you could win a conference championship and have a record of 7 and 5 or 8 and 4, whatever, and not get in the national playoff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Okay. That's your thought.
I mean, you guys are. No, I'm just telling you. That's my opinion.
Why does a team that? Okay, so a conference championships have trumped the 5 losses that they had.
How does basketball do it? What makes it exciting about the NCAA basketball tournament? You win a conference championship, you lose your mind because you have a chance.
Yeah, and winning conference championships is also a 20-year tradition now. It's not like this has been the history of college football. The SEC launched this back in 20 years ago, and now we treat it as though it's been gospel, or 30 years ago, back in the 90s. They made it a big deal. It wasn't a big deal before that.
All right, here's my question about conference champions. How many times has a team with 3, 4, 5 losses won a Power 5 conference champion?
Oh, never, not really.
Then why? Then conference champions get in. Yeah. I know it won't be that way. I don't know why that's so difficult for people to understand, though.
I think it's also that it's a reason for them to keep some of the non-Power 5 teams out.
Of course it is.
But
let's let people come into the building, but let's make sure that once they're in, we keep checking their card, their ID, every room they walk into.
Yeah. All right, number 2, no one fought it. I don't want to hear that people fought this thing and had come some harebrained reason not to do it. There's no reason not to do it. As a matter of fact, every reason you hear not to do it will just be people trying to make their conference bigger and keep yours out. You hear me, Pac-12 and ACC? Do you hear me? Don't fight it. Every idea you had about stopping the playoff was dumb and played into the Big Ten's hands. So don't fight it. Just go. It's better for you. You might actually get, the ACC might actually get a second team in the playoffs some years. What do you know?
I agree with this.
I mean, come on.
We should have already.
Fight it.
This should have already been a done deal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you two morons fought it, and now we're all as fans reaping the repercussions of that. And number one, I repeat, that it's happening. Don't have a meeting and say they're going to do this, and don't push it through. Otherwise, don't tell me about the meeting. Keep it secret.
Yeah, I was kind of almost leery when I saw that come out.
Yeah.
From Stephen Snook, with no divisions and conferences, most likely a 7-5 team won't be playing for a championship anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get where you're coming from. I'm not like that adamant about it, but I mean, it depends on where you look. There's some people that are in favor of, I mean, that's part of the argument, right? It's part of what they got caught up on, is there are people who see things different ways. I don't think it's like an automatic, this is right and this is wrong. I think there's people that view things differently. And yes, you have to be leery of the SEC or the Big Ten backstabbing politicking so that, yes, they massage it to where 4 teams each of theirs get in and like one Big 12 champ gets into this field. And you do have to be leery of that. But I can also see the argument where, yeah, if you win the Pac-12 any given year, you don't necessarily deserve just automatically to be in, but I don't know. I don't. It's not that big of a deal to me.
I just
honestly.
hope to God they do something that allows for us to have everybody have a chance rather than what conference you're in. Everybody has a chance, even though I know in the end it's still going to come down to those conferences.
Yeah, but, anyways, yeah.
No, what?
No, you're right, but I think you also just win the damn games you're supposed to. Baylor didn't not get in last year because of, this or that. They didn't get in because they lost to TCU.
No, that's right.
So
I don't know of anyone who really argued that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It's in the eye of the beholder. We got to go.
If you dig it, the eye of the beholder, if you win a conference championship, it takes it out of the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
It's not a beauty contest. It's win or lose, and you get in. And if you lose, you can still get in. But if you win, you're in.
Yeah.
And it takes away politics and how big a fan base is, or who has the most opportunity to travel, or who's a part of a conference. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah. No, I think that they're trying, the non-AQs is mostly so other teams get 2 teams in, at least. But also it would keep, it would also keep, in those rare scenarios we're talking about, it would keep a team that stepped on over its own feet in the conference championship not from getting knocked out, that we could see them again, as opposed to just that rule only applies to Alabama.
All right, we got to go. Games are